at a magnet that is drawing Bitcoin's price to a particular level, and we're going to tell you what that level is and what you need to watch out for the week ahead. It's going to be a lot of volatility. We have some insane AI coin action and some other altcoin action, but really all eyes are on Bitcoin. Where's the king Apex coin heading? I think we have a really, really good idea. We've been nailing some trades lately. Josh, you especially. Yeah. I think you got a nice win streak. TJ, how are you doing as well?
I'm doing good, feeling good. It's a great week. It's been a good weekend. Great week last week. A lot of good price actions. Fun to see. I think price did touch 69,420 on certain exchanges. So hey, good. Falcons
4 runs over. That was it. Yep, 69,420. That's the meme.
There you go. Falcons didn't look good, but everything else, you gotta love the Georgia weather. Getting outside, playing some pickleball. Life is good.
Ooh, all right, nice. Pickleball. Hit that like button if you hit some pickleball. I want to see at least 2 people. And it's going to be TJ's mother and plus one other person. Josh, I heard you had a lot of good trades going on. Are you still in a trade, and are you in a trade right now?
We actually just entered a trade, but yeah, type, well, let's get some fire emojis or something in the chat, guys. Let us know if you were in the Telegram over the weekend. We crushed it. I mean, the $1,000 to $10,000 challenge, most people are up 400%. Up quite a few grand just from the weekend alone here.
Yeah, you hit another $5,000 trade, right?
We had that wasn't part of the $1,000 to $10,000 challenge.
No, but
that would be a little cheap. But we did hit a $5,000 trade over the weekend as well. But over the week we were focusing on a lot smaller positions. So it was a great time in the Telegram. You guys crushed it. Now we're in a long position here. We just entered this right before we went live. So of course, guys, if you want to follow along with this, we do have a tight stop loss on this. The markets are incredibly volatile. But as we just said, we went from $69,420 or so all the way back down to $67,200. And in just a moment, I'm going to be explaining to you why we jumped into this trade, because FOMO.io is showing us a lot of bullish signals. So we had a great weekend.
All right, let's look at some of the prices going on right now, because Bitcoin, a little bit of a pullback, but there are some alts that are doing pretty well. We hit refresh, make sure we got that fresh data. You see a little bit of a pullback in the last hour. Some coins down over 4%. We have Bitcoin down 0.6%, down 2.5% over the last 24 hours. Ethereum also down about 2%. Keep scrolling.
Nice though. I will say, nice to see Ethereum getting showing signs of life. Closing the gap on the Bitcoin pair a little bit. Obviously, been down bad against Bitcoin recently, but several altcoins made up some ground against Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I'm going to pull up the ETH Bitcoin trading pair later on in the show. We're going to look exactly, is alt season starting? What's going on with that? We have Dogecoin slightly to the upside here. Other than that, you're seeing a sea of red, a huge, gigantic sea of red here. It's like that time of the month. But Cosmos, one of TJ's old coins, Atom is moving up. And then we got Popcat. Popcat still just, doing pretty well here. We have Axie Infinity kind of igniting a little bit of a gaming interest here. And Jupiter is up as well. Now, Josh, I know you've been trading Jupiter a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you're in any Jupiter trades at the moment.
Not right now. Jupiter, though, we've been saying, we call it our soup right now. It's our Supiter. And that's just because everybody's been eating with Jupiter right now. It's been nonstop, long shorts. Absolutely ripped it over the weekend here. We didn't catch that upside trade, but we will be looking to more than likely DCA into spot positions here. As, Jupiter is just one of those DEX projects that's about to break out of a very long channel. And we're very bullish on it in terms of a spot purchase. So I think anything on Jupiter between 86 to 92 cents, you're looking at a great entry point. It's actually retesting right now that breakout pattern as we speak. So I think we're getting a little bit of a pullback on these altcoins. This is going to be that time to DCA a little bit, I believe, before you get that breakout past $70,000 coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I know traditionally on Jupiter, like a 70-cent floor has been extremely, or approximately, could be a little over, could be a little under. But
here. Look at this.
I think that's where we scooped some around 70 cents.
That's trading range.
This is what we called. Yeah, so we actually shorted it. We longed it, broke out, closed it, shorted it, closed out, longed it, broke out, closed it, shorted it, closed out, and then now we haven't gotten into long yet, but that's because we actually traded like WorldCoin. We traded YGG, a bunch of random tokens that ended up doing like 100, 200, 300% gains for the Telegram over the weekend. So
nice.
we are stoked.
Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of altcoins showing signs. Like I said, Ethereum also showing a little signs of life, but a lot of different other coins making up ground on Bitcoin when Bitcoin kind of, pumped up a little bit and went a little sideways or even pulled back. So it's just a small taste of what all season can be like. I still think we're a little ways out on the true euphoric alt season that does come, but it shows that it's nice to remember what it feels like.
Yeah, I'm going to show in the charts, there's a little bit of breath of life in there. Let's look at the biggest losers. Tau is on a huge downswing. I might go ahead and try to buy some of this while it's cheap, while it's down 50% for the week. Notcoin also down. Immutable X. Not all the gaming tokens have been doing well. And then we got Brett. Brett just being Brett. Brett doesn't know what he wants to do. He knows he's a little shady. He's down 5.2% today. And Litecoin is down 5%. Tom Crown is in shambles right now, but he's going to wake up. He's going to emerge stronger than ever. And his sunglasses are going to be even more reflective than last time, folks. But let's look at some of the levels. We're talking about these magnets on Bitcoin's price. Well, Cointelegraph was posting this update. Bitcoin surged towards 70K. Wiping out over $100 million in liquidations and then losing $100 million as the bears misjudged the rally here. And I had to refresh this because you can see we had a nice little pullback to the downside, hitting a lot of these basically longs. They got wrecked. So these people were betting on the price to go up. They got wrecked. Betting on it to go up. They got wrecked. And now we have this other level, which I think Bitcoin is going to act like a magnet. Let me go ahead and hit refresh. That's 66,900. But wow, did you see that? We just refreshed and a little bit of a second yellow line kind of moved in. Let me slide it in just a little bit. There we go, folks. You can see it right here. This did not exist 2 hours ago. 66,750. So 66,900, 66,750. That looks like there's a magnet pulling it to this. And I think we need to hit this before we can bounce. Now, Josh, you've been doing a lot more trading than I have. You have more skin in the game than I do. What do you think of my analysis?
I think it's pretty accurate here. Actually, if you go to FOMO.io, we actually made that chart a little bit easier to read so you can pinpoint the exact boxes and ranges those liquidity pools are starting to be created. But what I want to point out is actually when you zoom out to the weekly, we have adjusted liquidations massively with this pullback. So when we went to $69,500, we had a lot of bullish continuation patterns that we traded in the Discord over the weekend. We were expecting this pullback. Now, we didn't know if we were going to touch 70K or not. There was a lot of uncertainty kind of moving into those Sunday futures markets.
And 70K is a pretty substantial level because there's a lot of things that get wiped out right there, right?
Substantial. And I'm going to point out something here that is very important. If you actually go to the daily here, we lost support at the $62,240 range, which is what caused this flash wick to the downside. Now, I am still bullish, okay? I am still expecting us to perform pretty well, but it could be completely normal that Bitcoin's price could come down to this previous, neckline on these price actions, like $65,000. Now, I'm not necessarily going to say that that's going to happen. I would watch the liquidations that DZ just pointed out here. So on the weekly, they have started adjusting massively. Not only did we just wipe out this major range at $67,361, when you go to the 24-hour and 12-hour now, you're starting to look at a liquidity range way above $70,000 now. So what we're seeing is, again, there's so much open interest on this market. People are piling in the short positions, and it can cause us to get that next leg up, that next short squeeze here. So this is why we entered this morning a long position here on our Bitcoin portfolio. Really big trade. You are looking at a decent level of support here at $66,923, which we just bounced off of. That is going to coincide with, of course, the hourly time frame on Bitcoin, which we just got tested that 200 moving average here on the hourly, which historically you do bounce off of. So this is a great, when I'm putting out the risk factor here, I have a stop loss, right? If it loses the support, you're probably looking at more downside. But I believe this is a great time to DCA into a bit of a long position here. Now, I do want to point out one last thing here, which is going to be, of course, the liquidation exchange map. On the daily, okay, it's actually refreshed this because it's updated a little bit since then. On the daily, this has now completely shifted from bearish to bullish. The green side is going to be way higher than the red side now. And as you can see, there is still liquidation down to $66,000, but it is stacking up above us. So this is just that kind of cherry on the top. Okay, I think we're entering a decent play here. We're going to DCA a little bit, keep a stop loss just in case any weird flash wicks are, on the market and we get a sell-off. But right now is a great time to, of course, jump in those markets.
All right, let's look at that parallel channel we've been talking about for days, weeks, feels like months, feels like years, feels like decades here. So this is the parallel channel we've been trying to knock above this area I found something kind of similar and kind of interesting. I'm not going to say it's going to play out, but folks, this is going to shock and amaze you here. We wick into it before we close around it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then 9 wicks, partly candles. So 9 candles, and then the 10th one closes below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the 10th candle closed above. And so we saw 9 knocks on the door, and then the 10th time we kicked it down. Right now, we're only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we might need to knock on this door for 3 more days, Josh. So I found that kind of interesting.
Days.
I don't think it's going to play out. That would be very, very coincidental.
Well, that could be interesting, though. I mean, 3 days, sort of talking middle end of this week. We have been seeing price action tick up towards the end of the weeks. Wednesday, kind of Thursday, Fridays, the last few weeks have been pretty bullish. So are we still touching? Can you zoom in on that a little bit? Or maybe
let's zoom in. In fact, let's go to the 4-hour candles.
So it's wicking above that midway line, but closing on it. Is that what's happening? Basically?
Yeah, closing right on it, and you can see it right there. Close like literally right on it. Close literally right on it. Closing or wicking literally right to it. But then it seems like the markets are saying no. We have found a direction. But again, let me just warn you. We could definitely have a springboard from 66,900, 66,700. And so if we come back down, we don't have too much lower to go. If we zoom in, where are we at right now? We're basically hitting these levels. 67 to 60. Oh, wait, no, 66, 700. So we still got like $500 to go. A couple hundred below where we wicked right now. So we're at a do or die moment for Bitcoin right now.
It's really been following that channel well, though. I mean, that's pretty cool. So I think, you could look for more bullish activity later this week.
Should we give them the scary number? The bottom? Bottom of the range.
What? Yeah, I don't think it's that scary.
I mean, honestly, yeah. When you zoom out, it's not that scary. When you're zoomed in, you're plugged in. It does, I guess, feel scary at the moment. But if we look right here, 63,500, and if we were to teleport to it today, $62,081. So I mean, it could be a significant pullback. $6,000, $5,000, $4,000. We're still in a bullish range. So Bitcoin can fall $4,000 or $5,000. Still be bullish for Bitcoin. So you don't have to discount it and write it off just yet.
And you're talking about going back to prices from like 2 weeks ago. So that's what I'm saying. It's not that scary. It's very bullish. Macro, extremely, extremely bullish. Everything seems to be playing out well.
Yeah, and Bitcoin, just like my hoodie, just do it, all right? Just do it. Just choose a direction, folks. Yeah. Now, we do have a lot of inflows pointing at some bullish directions, and we're going to talk a little bit more on liquidations in a bit. ETFs hit $21 billion in net inflows as the purchases top $2 billion. So end of the week with no negative flows, and that is a first time in its history. So we got all 5 days in the positive here. Very, very bullish for just Bitcoin's direction, generally speaking here. And now open interest exceeding $40 billion for the first time in history, which is nuts. And open interest just refers to the outstanding bets, aka futures and options, that have not been settled or offset by closing trades. So we got $40 billion in leverage out there. Josh, aren't you like 1% of that?
No, I wish. One day, maybe the Telegram group. No, we're not even close to those price action. You're talking what, $40 billion?
Yeah. Let me ask you for a prediction here. The magnet, Bitcoin's magnet, is it stronger at the bottom of this channel? If you just turn over the bottom of the channel or the top of the channel, who gets touched first?
Bottoms always get touched first. So you got to go from the bottom up, GZ. That's just how it works. No, it's seriously, though, the price action loves to pull where the most amount of liquidity is. And usually that's going to be the downside. So as of right now, and it's a simple look at this, guys. When you're at $69,000 Bitcoin, 91%, 92% of Bitcoin holders are in profit. So you're just very likely, you're always going to have these pullbacks, and they can be healthy. They can be bearish depending on the movement and the momentum in these markets. But the momentum in these markets are incredibly bullish right now. We do look to be moving into a really strong bull run. And whether that means an $80, $90, $100,000 Bitcoin, no matter what, we just went from $59,000 to $70K in the matter of what, a week, week and a half. So it makes sense to even pull back to $66K or $65K if needed to wipe out some of that liquidity, to be able to have market makers have enough to push prices back to the upside. So yeah, I think it's completely normal. And I think we'd be looking at, if we pull it up again, actually, I'll show you. So you saw that rejection here off the There it is. That middle channel, right? So we broke a little bit above it. It's testing it right now. It keeps battling into it. Now, is this the daily candlestick?
This is the daily, and you look at the 4 hour. You know, we're still just trying to knock into it, trying to burst through.
Yeah, trying to burst through it. If you go back to the daily, what I want to point out is the green candlesticks. You see how many green daily candlesticks we've had back to back to back to back to back?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
10.
So that right there is a green. We call that a a green cycle. So you just want to see that pull back a little bit, hopefully, before you get that breakout. It's completely normal.
Wait, am I greedy asking for 20 green days in a row?
Look, you can.
Sure, but why not?
You might be.
Why not?
Yeah, why not ask for it? Will you receive it? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got another channel we're going to show in a second here. I want to look at this article because there's contention over the price breakout. Since hitting the all-time high, we've been wedged within a downward sloping channel. We've been talking about it for months, offering a succession of lower highs and lower lows until now. Let's go back to the channel. Has it happened? So let's make this one disappear and let's bring in the old one. You guys ready? Sit down for this.
Hey,
look at that, folks. That is right. We are now potentially,
wow, that's good.
Potentially breaking out of this stupid downward channel. I'm so sick and tired of being in.
Yeah.
But right now, the Bears are trying to say, no,
well, and
we're going back in.
That actually is strong as to why, that makes the good case as to why it may not go back to the bottom of your channel. Because now that channel can almost take precedence. It's a longer forming.
It's going back since March.
Yeah. And that's a pretty, that can act as if we can hold that right here this week, that can act as an extremely strong support. And, so good so far. I mean, that's a test wick, right? Or a test candlestick right there. You can see it. So I think it'll be bullish for this week. The other thing that's interesting to me is that when you guys were talking about open interest, we have the most open interest ever right now, but that's mostly coming from institutional because retail interest is extremely low. So
yes. Yeah. Oh, we're going to cover that. It's like you read my mind.
Liquidity is all above that price chart. So it does look like we're going to be showing some significant support there.
If you're asking where the magnet is sucking it to the upside towards 70K.
Yeah. I like that too. I'm leaning bullish when you start seeing that breakout, but we do have to confirm that we can't fall back in that downward channel. We don't want to fall back in the downward channel.
For the bull trap.
But good chart, Seth. Oh, are you ready for this? This is one of my favorite charts in crypto. It's Google interest. So Bitcoin retail interest is still absent, like my father. Google Trends data underscores the fact that despite being near new all-time highs, the price action is not getting anyone excited. No pants are tight. They're all loose, everybody, outside the crypto circles. This is Bitcoin interest over time. I pulled up the chart myself here.
Bullish.
And you can see Bitcoin interest. But there's, they're saying, let me give them the facts here. So last week, we're looking at this. Wouldn't be surprised to see a fast move to the upside. On a normalized scale, it currently is at 22, the lowest in over a year, and among the lowest values in the past 4 years. What about the lowest value of the past 4 years? This is the past 5 years. You'll see it right here, at least in the recent time zone, in September 2023. Well, folks, you ready to sit down again? This is the 2-week candles we're looking at. These two candles, boom, boom, that is September 2023. That's September 11th, 2-week channel. That's September 25, 2-week channel. And so if you would have sold, you know what, interest is low, crypto's dead, I'm selling my Bitcoin bag, I'm selling my altcoins, you would have sold right here. And folks, that would have been one of the biggest mistakes you could have made in your life right there. So now, is this the time you want to be selling? If you ask me, it is a hell no. It's a resounding hell no. And I want a resounding smash on that like button. Where are we on the like?
Yeah, we have about 940, only 156 likes. So today is definitely a 420 like day. If you could take a second, smash that like button. But I agree with what you're saying there. It is, we do have a lot of bullish stuff in retail. It's the institutions that are pumping things. Whales have been accumulating more than ever before. So you want to be buying when they're buying. But how about this? This is an interesting theory coming out of the chat. I want to get you guys' opinion on. I don't know if you noticed, we all know Trump working over the weekend at McDonald's. Now the McRib is coming back. Traditionally, there's a chart going around Twitter that Bitcoin historically goes up 2x after the McRib returns. Could there be, we've got Trump working it, McRib coming back, bullish for Bitcoin? What do you think?
Well, I want to know what the Arch Deluxe will do to Bitcoin's price.
There's the image.
Hold on.
This is if we can't break $70,000, this is us This is what crypto looks like under a Kamala Harris administration, guys.
Uh-oh.
That is where we'll be.
The other good joke there was he's a true crypto founder. Token launched last week and working at McDonald's this week. You know, true
That is a
founder.
good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one more. Give me one quick second as I pull it up. There's one more I thought was pretty dang funny. This one right here. Trump with World Liberty Fi token holders.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
Messed up right there. They're like, wait, I can't sell it for 4 years? Oh, sorry about that.
Hey, it's more like Ben coin holders, but yeah, we'll see.
Ooh. Now we're
Yeah.
talking about all this bullish Bitcoin action. Google interest is low, open interest all-time highs. You know, we're looking at parallel channels, all these things pointing up. And so are you ready for your banana to get swollen? The banana zone. The banana zone.
What are
the
these
banana.
today?
There's a thing called the banana zone, folks. Right now, we're in the boring zone, but altcoins currently reversing and ending the longest bear market in history.
Okay.
That means it's time for the banana zone. Get those banana hammocks ready. And depending on how long it will take with liquidity, this banana zone is going to be epic. And so they're just kind of looking at just the boring zone, kind of trade around. You hit that little sideways thing, and then you get bullish. Right now, we are still in the boring zone. I'm going to look at some like I said, I'm going to look at ETH Bitcoin trading pair later on in the show. Going to answer, is altcoin season starting, or do we still maybe got a couple months, couple weeks? Is it today? Is it yesterday? We're going to look into that, folks.
McTrump token.
Big Trump token.
It is a token. Yes.
Trump nuggies.
I'm gonna watch this rug live. Watch it. We're gonna watch it rug live, guys. Yeah, people are
Oh, it
launching
is an
these left and
actual
right.
thing?
Trump
This one's
nuggies
on
is
ETH, yeah, this-
Stormy Daniels' autobiography.
No, yeah, Trump
This is
nuggies.
definitely gonna be a rug pull, but yeah.
Tendy Trumps, Trump tendies,
Trump tendies. Oh, it's sensitive. Don't touch it when I'm done.
Or
it's sensitive.
Trump Mick
Don't
tendies.
touch it.
Crypto Facts Report was showing some support from South Florida. Morning, guys. Morning to you. Appreciate you. Much love for the $10 super chat. We will take that to Mickey D's later
Hey.
tonight. Thank you.
All right. So we got one catalyst for a FOMO. What is that catalyst for the FOMO? Well, it could be the chart breaking out. Everybody looks like we are breaking above its diagonal resistance that has kept it bearish since March. And so the executives say the breach of resistance could make us rally to 74K and beyond. But the upcoming U.S. presidential election that could trigger FOMO, fear of missing out. We don't rule out that a Trump victory could create FOMO. That wouldn't be the reason for the price increase. A Harris victory could also increase risk, temporarily stir FUD while the pieces are repositioned. And so at the same time, we can't unconditionally give the benefit of the doubt to a politician's promises, regardless. If FOMO creates a Trump pump, we certainly won't complain. I don't think anyone's going to complain about a Trump pump, everybody. There's also a pump in the hash rate. This is for Nick DeMondi specifically. He's the one that gets excited. Bitcoin hash rate hits an all-time high, boosting network security. Guys, what do we typically see after hash rate hits an all-time high?
Price
Typically goes up, everybody. And Borns has a message for Josh here.
GOTE Kamala.
Goated?
Goat G-O-A-T.
Right.
I mean, he's a Kamala voter. He doesn't watch football.
Maybe he likes
Come on
that
now. He doesn't
band-
know what that stands for.
Maybe he likes the band Gautier, and he forgot the Y there.
Bourne, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Was there a chart there for that hash rate?
Yeah.
I saw one with an image.
Actually, let me pull up the one over time, too.
I
Have
have
you
the
seen that
article
one?
here. It's right here.
Yeah.
So this is from the article. So it's been in a steady uptrend since 2021. And that's basically after the China mining ban, there's a couple months as they reposition a lot of expensive hardware. But once all those are in their new spots turned back on, we've been up only when it comes to hash rate here. And yeah, if you look a little bit closely, it might be cut off right there on the very edge.
I saw a zoomed in one, and it really did spike in the last week or so. You see,
we get a nice little strong spike right
It's
there,
right here.
folks.
I got it for you. 6 hours ago, 1 zettahash.
Yeah, there you go.
8.7. Yeah, it exploded over the last 24 hours. Actually, it's got holy smokes. It's gone up 200 zettahash. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's a lot of
Not
computing
zettahash.
power.
Sorry. What's
Exahash.
EH? Exahash. Thank you. Yep. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's like a 30% gain.
All right,
20%
now there's someone that hit the news lately, and not for the good reasons. They're saying he has lost the plot. PJ, do you remember what I said Piano Matty B said about Michael Saylor?
I don't remember.
Called him a Fed. He said it years ago.
Okay.
The guy has
He's a
all
Fed?
the indications of being a Fed. And so that takes me to this story right here. Michael Saylor, the leading influencer of Bitcoin, You don't need to self-custody.
Uh-oh.
You should trust government and institutions.
What?
They would never confiscate your custodial Bitcoin. And you're a paranoid crypto anarchist and a profit-driven scammer if you disagree.
He said this?
Let's listen.
If there is more Bitcoins held with these third-party custodians, what risk does that pose, having greater supply held by fewer large institutions? Does that increase the risk of seizure and confiscation like we've seen with gold? And is that not exactly what Bitcoiners don't want to happen?
And if you're not clear, they stole gold around 100 years ago. They kicked in your door and they stole your gold. So they're saying it can happen with Bitcoin.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think that when the Bitcoin is held by a bunch of crypto anarchists who aren't regulated entities, who don't acknowledge government or don't acknowledge taxes or don't acknowledge reporting requirements, that increases the risk of seizure. You have an OG crypto community that's very hardcore about it, but if you look at where all the money is, 99.9% of the money is actually in the traditional economy.
If you consider the Great Depression, I mean, people thought that their gold was safe in banks until the Executive Order of 1933. So we're not entirely safe. I mean, I know that's kind of a wild thing to suggest may happen again, but history does repeat itself. So people's Bitcoin wouldn't be entirely safe. It's
people say that, but
that.
mostly it's paranoid crypto anarchists that say that. Okay? Because it's a myth and a trope that goes on over and over again. But first of all, he didn't really seize the gold. People voluntarily turned in the gold. They didn't go and kick in everybody's door, arrest them, shoot them, and take their gold. That never happened. Is the United States on the Bitcoin standard?
Maybe we will be soon.
But the point really is we're not. Right? It's totally not a reasonable comparison. You know, people have these inflammatory, tropes or inflammatory memes that they use, and it's like, I say that because I want you to give me your money. Okay, like if you don't trust the bank, then you'll buy my hardware wallet. If you don't trust this government, you'll move to my country and you'll buy a passport from me. That's the kind of fear mongering to get you to give me your money, right? And I use it to sell you a gun, to sell you a hardware wallet, to sell you an account, to sell you a financial advisor, to sell you an insurance policy, to sell you fill in the blank.
Boo, boo.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's very much, you can't. It's hard to argue with on a corporate level, right? Like that is the very corporate answer that he's supposed to give. But it's very much not the Bitcoin ethos. Self-custody is, in my opinion, a very important part of it to keep everybody honest. So
you know why he's saying that, though, right?
So people buy MicroStrategy stock.
they keep giving him money, so that way he holds it.
Yes, exactly. he made his own point at the end. Is what he says is motivated to get a certain outcome, and like what you just highlighted, of course he wants to be a Bitcoin bank. He's already said it, so he's pushing for other people to custody the Bitcoin and be regulated, and he's going to be pushing that probably for a while. So. Yeah, it is interesting. So who in the chat, anybody have, I mean, I did see some people say, yeah, sounds like a Fed, but what does the chat think? Fed
he
or
says
not
they
Fed?
never kicked in doors. I know we didn't have cell phones, to film that, but it is my understanding there was definitely people who had to give it up not voluntarily. That is definitely
they weren't exactly asking. They were commanding, they were directing everybody. And most people probably did turn it in willfully under the fear of prosecution, and that's what that's the part he leaves out. So, and I mean, it is a reasonable point to say that us as a nation at the time, the United States as a nation, we were on the gold standard, and so we had a little bit more of a claim. But that's not the kind of defense you want to hear, right? That's not what you don't want him to say. Like, oh yeah, well they had pretty good reason for it at the time, and they probably don't now. And it's like.
All right, Chad has I like Bourne's take here. -1,000 aura. Michael Saylor, yeah, he lost 1,000 points on his aura. Other people say he was at the freak-off parties, so they're just telling him what to say. That's a fun theory, but I will say he definitely lost a lot of aura points there. But back to MicroStrategy, there's still bullish action for MicroStrategy if this happens, and if it gets added to the NASDAQ 100 index at the end of November, it will result and $532 million automatically flowing into MicroStrategy. That is because there's indexes that just hold a little bit of all 100 stocks. And so once you're on that list, money will flow into your ecosystem. Massive short covering, expand the NAV premium, and allow Sailor to buy even more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But don't worry about self-custody. That's all a trope. That's all a myth. I'm not the biggest fan of that take personally there. But I will say, if you're going to custody with someone else, make sure they're insured, like our sponsor right here, Uphold, everybody. Uphold is FDIC insured. You can get yield on your USD there, 4.9% APY on your USD balance, no lockups, no monthly fees, and insured. That is the major point right there, up to $250,000. So feel free to hold a little bit of Bitcoin with regulated exchanges. Again, you don't want to pass the $250,000.
Well, and I think that's a pretty important point you just made. It's not all good. It's not all bad. You can have a little bit that somebody else custodies. You can have a little bit that you custody. I think the point where I take issue is when they say you can't you must have it with a regulated custodian, and then they just make who can regulate it. Basically, they turn themselves into all the regulated custodians.
Yeah, I want freedom. I want freedom for my, I have a relative or a neighbor. They're freaked out by a seed phrase, writing down this. If I lose it, I lose all my Bitcoin. I'm freaked out. Well, here's a nice FDI-insured entity. And I like the choice. I like the freedom. If I want to make a paper wallet without ever having to pay anybody, that's also my option. I don't think every wallet salesperson is motivated by greed. I think a lot of people want to spread the message of self-custody. And there's exchange founders out there that we heavily align with, like Jesse Powell from Kraken. There's a balance for everything.
Yeah, and even Veteran Crypto in the chat says he loves Uphold for their USDC earn program. So
good stuff there. All right, Bitcoiners are hodling Bitcoin now more than ever. New data from Glassnode reveals here. So we have strong holding signals among the enthusiasts, showing bullish sentiments against for its future performance here. Banter pointing out that the storage supply has increased for months. According to the post, the storage supply gives mega hodling vibes, implying that a potential rally could be imminent there. So shout out to Banter. Bitcoin powers wealth. Nearly 50% of crypto millionaires owe success to Bitcoin. The other half, dog with hat. Now, I don't know. What would you say besides ETH? What do you think a number 2 coin could be? I haven't read this article yet, so I'm guessing with you guys.
Bitcoin powers wealth. Nearly 50% of crypto millionaires. I think ETH would be a lot of them.
Solana. I was gonna say, definitely a better metric for 22, 21. Doge.
No, I mean,
a lot of people got in under a penny. That Wall Street Bets crowd.
I think you'd be surprised how many XRP. And that's why they have such a strong, following and crowd, is because they really did. I would say outside of Ethereum, XRP would be my next pick.
All right. Well, here they have, just some stats here. So the ETFs contributing to the rise here. 5 of the new they're talking about some of the millionaires and the billionaires reflecting an increase over 100% from the previous year. So we're getting a lot of people getting big money. So we're talking about millions and billionaires. Now, that's a different metric. What made the most millionaires and billionaires besides Bitcoin? Because that's not going to be Doge. That's not going to be XRP.
Solana. BNB, maybe? I mean, BNB could be too. It's older.
BNB,
I would say
sense.
it definitely made one of the richest people in crypto.
I like Solana. I think it could be Solana. All right, Bitcoin, it's too scarce, even for millionaires. We haven't done this math in a while. Some mind-blowing math. According to the World Health Report, there are over 21 million millionaires worldwide in 22. Had a combined wealth 83 trillion. If we neglect the fact that 21 is never possible, or the fact that it is possible, really it's not going to be that, because we got 1 million owned by Satoshi, 1.5 not yet mined, then about 4 million likely lost. That'd be 0.97 Bitcoin per millionaire. All right. And so there's not even enough Bitcoin for every millionaire to hold a whole coin. All the millionaires are about 1/4% of the world's population here. What is the number of millionaires? So, because I think there's a lot more than 21 million.
There'll be, in 20 years, there'll be 1 million millionaires, or 10 million millionaires, or how many? There's definitely a lot of millionaires. Like, there's already 1,000 billionaires.
I thought there was like closer to 40. No, 22. Okay, so it's 23, 22 millionaires.
Yeah, there'll be 100 millionaires
US.
by 2030.
So that is in the U.S. I knew something was wrong here. Globally, it is a lot more than 22 million here. Let's see. just China. China has 6 million. So we got 22 million. China has 6 million. UK has 3 million. France almost has 3 million here. So we're seeing a significant amount. So really, there's not even half a Bitcoin for every millionaire.
Yeah. Well,
and do you think a billionaire just wants one?
Well, there's barely enough Bitcoin for the exchanges these days. Every time I see an exchange chart, it's like their Bitcoin's getting lower and lower. And so that's, yeah, when people go to buy Bitcoin, and I think this is part of why I think we're going to see such a mega cycle this time, is I think you're going to see a lot of the wealth of the world go to buy Bitcoin after we hit 100K and all that FOMO kicks in, and supply is going to be exhausted, and they're going to be told, no, we can't buy that much. Like if somebody who goes that wants to put $20 million into Bitcoin, they're going to be like, that's a big order. Yeah. It's going to take us a while to get that filled. And I think that is going to have a huge impact in what's going to send us to crazy, 200K, because they'll say, I don't care, just fill it.
Only 2,500.
Chill will, the number of the global population of millionaires, 58 million millionaires in 2023. So now as we get closer to the circulating amount of supply for Bitcoin, not even enough Bitcoin for one for every 3 millionaires. So each millionaire only gets a third of one Bitcoin. But you gotta
like think in terms of inflation. Like by the year 2030, there's gonna be 100 millionaires. There's gonna be 10,000 billionaires. There's gonna be 40 trillionaires. Like as the economy inflates, so does that reduction, or that like being a millionaire in 2030 is gonna mean a lot different than being a millionaire in 2000.
Do you guys think there's a secret trillionaire yet?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Dude, Putin's
oil
easily
money.
a trillionaire. There's many trillionaires in oil money. I would say probably like Kuwait. I would argue that there's probably even shadow figures or banks in America that have trillions of dollars in assets.
Yeah.
That, they have that connection to that type of
Elon Musk
liquidity.
isn't the world's richest guy?
Hell no.
Oh, man, it's all
such
fake.
a FUD. Yeah, like, yeah, exactly.
He's probably not even top 10.
I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Why can you name only 10 billionaires off the top of your head? What about all the billionaires that have 10 to 30 billion dollars?
Yeah, there's a lot of large multinational energy corporations that are owned by the countries, and then those countries are ruled by a de facto dictator. So you could say that dictator owns that company, and that's why we're kind of coming.
We also
up with
can't
numbers.
we can't audit China. So how many oligarchs in China have trillions of dollars?
Well, yeah, and somebody says the Saudi king is trillionaire, and you're right. I do think the richer you get, the more off the radar they like to stay. Like I feel like it took a lot of people by surprise how much wealth Michael Dell had. Like he's very quiet, and then all of a sudden you're like, dang, he's
the Vatican. People point out the Vatican. Their art is worth a lot.
Well, and again, you have to realize like that net worth is like an assumption off Google. What I don't even know what like. How do you determine someone's net worth?
Exactly.
It's like range, like which independent parties clarifying this, and then are those independent parties actually, do they get paid on the side to say that their net worth's only
higher,
300 million,
lower,
or 300 billion? Like I think Elon Musk easily is worth double of what his net worth says on.
Okay, all right. He could have some secret Doge, everybody. Now let's talk about ECB talking out of both sides of their mouth. Pisses me off here. ECB officials urge Bitcoin latecomers and non-holders to oppose Bitcoin and advocate for legislation against it. So they're saying Bitcoin's rise redistributes wealth from the latecomers to the early adopters there. So if you're not in early, do not bother. Just stay away from this toxic asset. They assert their limited supply doesn't guarantee sustained price increases, contrary to popular belief among crypto supporters. They even warn in a scenario where the value continues to rise, it could lead to negative economic consequences if not justified by the underlying fundamentals. They say Bitcoin doesn't enhance productive capacity. Any wealth generated comes at the expense of others in society. So they say, do not buy this because it's going to reward the early people. But they also say, if it does, it's also leading to negative because it will keep rising.
Well,
so
and
stay away.
Here's what gets me is they're like, the price won't continue to increase forever. And it's like, well, your buying power decreases forever. I mean, did you have that tweet response there? I saw
I have this one right
saying
here.
I was a latecomer to the euro.
Yeah,
you have that one? Yeah.
Bitcoin, well, this is from Jason Lowry. His seasoning is great. Bitcoin has no intrinsic value, but those who don't own it will be poor.
Right.
Wait, what? Wait a minute. That didn't make any sense. What? All right. Fed paper advocates taxation or prohibition.
Well, hold on. Real quick.
You have a different meme.
Yeah, the one I was talking about was basically a guy saying it was just a tweet response right to the ECB. Basically said, I'm a latecomer to the euro. Early on, the people that were early in the euro were able to use that to buy homes and assets that produce value that they pass on for generations. So now that I'm just now getting into the euro, I have no chance. You basically use their same logic to say, by that logic, the euro is a far worse metric to be in than Bitcoin.
Yeah, a can of soda used to be a nickel. And every now and then, my fiance, she likes a can of Sprite. Hey, pick me up a Sprite on the way home. A can is like $2.50.
Yeah.
Used to be a nickel, and now a can of soda is like $2. What the hell happened to 50-cent sodas?
Yeah.
They like teleported.
Gone. Yeah. Or 99-cent Arizona ISTs. And then they started going to $1.20. It still says, dude, they says 99 cents still on the can.
Are they not 99? Are you saying the gas stations do
it
that?
will say 99, and they probably took it off by now, but there was like a good couple of years where you'd go buy a 99-cent can of Arizona tea, and it'd be like $1.50 or $1.
I think that's the gas station. But still, I mean,
everywhere,
hey, all for them.
Yeah.
I want to say there's someone that has to honor it. Someone honor it, please. Germany sold their Bitcoin for euros. That's all you need. All right. Fed paper advocates taxation or prohibition of Bitcoin to address government deficits. And Bitcoin creates a balanced budget trap, which forces governments to balance their budgets. Oh my God, how terrible would it be if we forced governments to balance their budget? That would just be the worst thing in the world. You mean they can't spend more money than they bring in?
Elon Musk is evil, and he's up to no good trying to balance and budget our government.
Oh man, I can't believe this stupid Bitcoin complicating efforts to maintain permanent deficits, especially in an economy reliant on nominal debt. Bitcoin creates what they say is a balanced budget trap, which forces governments to balance their budgets. Oh my God, it's just so terrible. Bitcoin, with its stupid fixed supply and lack of direct claims on real resources, is disrupting traditional policy by providing an alternative financial asset. They propose that either a tax on Bitcoin or just outright ban it would be necessary to counter this effect. A legal prohibition, aka banning Bitcoin, can restore the unique implementation of permanent deficits. And so can a tax on Bitcoin. If this isn't the biggest advertisement to buy Bitcoin in the world, I don't know what it is, folks. You got to get in. You got to get in on this orange train because it is leaving the station. They're yelling at you. Oh, that train, it's gonna fall off a cliff eventually. Your train station's on fire. So excuse me for not wanting to leave the train station.
That's a good point.
I see it going off in the horizon. You know what I see? Optimism, belief, a better way forward. You know what I see with you? Flames, ashes, destruction. That's what I see.
No,
I want to see a like button pressed though.
Great point. Good point.
Where are we on the likes? I'm about to flip this table if it's not 200.
It's 286, so you don't have to flip the table. But no, that's a really good point. The people that are telling you, wait, this new thing may not be the best thing ever, like you think it is. It's like, yeah, well, your thing sucks. So why would I stay and keep continuing doing the system that isn't working? Might as well try something else. And that right there is what gets a lot of people to try crypto. And once you do, you're surprised. Hey, it works pretty good. So you do.
Now we got other. It's not just the ECB. It's not just the Europeans. Also got Minneapolis Fed here. New paper claims governments can run permanent deficits.
Oh, come on.
If consumers don't notice and adopt new money like Bitcoin.
Wow. Okay.
What?
So,
Sorry.
As long as nobody notices.
What I love about this is, Tim, did you know that Minnesota's lost, what do you call it? They were number 50th in terms of fiscal responsibility and policy?
Not surprised.
50th. They were last place, and that is our nominee for vice president.
Yeah. And they're out there, and they're
the most unqualified candidates in history. And then they're out here saying, oh, we could just run an endless deficit.
Like
you're the 50th state.
As long as nobody notices, and doesn't try something better like Bitcoin, then we can keep just running this thing into the ground forever.
Yeah, we've noticed.
We'll raise taxes.
50th in fiscal policy. Yeah. They're idiots.
Well, there's people who think like their value just increases in value, and it's other people saying, no, the dollar is weakening.
Right.
Your house didn't get better. The dollar's weak.
Yeah.
So, that just kind of sums it up right there. Crypto Facts Report with a $10 super chat. Smash that like, educate, elevate, and do not hesitate. All right. So back to this. Matthew Siegel. Consumers don't notice and adopt new money like Bitcoin. Someone quote tweeted it. I thought it was great. Not really supposed to say the quiet part out loud, guys.
Yeah.
That's Lynn Alden right there. So, the fact that they're coming out with these statements, very similar, around the same time, feels like a coordinated push by kind of like globalists, I will say. I try not to go down like, oh, the globalists are doing everything. But clearly the people who print money, realizing, oh shit, people are finding the escape hatch. And when your escape hatch was your real estate, your house, you didn't really think about inflation, about your home increasing. Thought you were smart. Yeah, I just bought a house. I was smart. You know, land's finite.
Yeah.
Well, Bitcoin is finite too.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat talking about how expensive the grocery store is now.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's saying, yeah, you should start measuring how much, you know, beef you can get for Bitcoin. That'd be a good metric to keep an eye on, because somebody's saying, hey, yeah, it used to be $15 to go get a bag of groceries. Now it's like 75. And
Yeah.
it's so true.
Dude, it's so expensive.
It's
It is
so
like you go to
expensive.
Costco, like Costco, because I love Costco still, but even at Costco, it's like if you want to buy like good meat, like you go buy, you know, one bulk size item of meat, you're already at 75 to
Yeah.
$100.
You can't
It's
get out of there
like-
without spending $200
No.
these days.
And not at all. It's
Yeah.
impossible. It's
All
impossible.
right.
That's Costco, you know, but public, like you said, yeah, if you're going for eggs, milk, and cheese, you're coming
Right.
out of there $50.
Yep.
Crazy.
We do have this
Maybe not
article.
$50.
We
but,
have this
you know.
article. Central banks are secretly buying Bitcoin. I do believe it. I do believe it. But I don't want to really go into this article too much because, in conclusion, there's no hard proof that they're buying Bitcoin. But the logic is clear. I think they're if they're secretly buying gold, why wouldn't they secretly be buying Bitcoin at the same time? And not only that, me, DJ, we heard from someone back in 2021, international guy, very, very connected, very huge in the 2016, 2017 cycle. He's like, no, Russia's been buying Bitcoin for years and years. So to me, it's been a certainty. They've been buying Bitcoin for a long time here. But this has been one of the craziest years in history when it comes to markets. 2024 been nuts. S&P 500, it's up 22% year to date. It's having the best performance in 27 years and hitting 47 all-time highs this year. Gold up 32%. It's on its best year in 45 years. Silver 42%. It's only its highest level in 12 years. That's when I was talked out of buying Bitcoin and I was buying silver instead. Oil crashing like global recession is coming. Utility stocks, one of the best years this century. Central banks cutting rates. Public debt skyrocketing. Volatility in the move indexes or move indices. Volatility of stocks and bonds. Trading like something bad is cooking in the markets. What the hell is happening here?
Yeah, what's happening, number 6 right there. I mean, you could have just read number 6 and that creates all the other ones. Basically, what they're saying is fiat system failing, all assets pumping. That's basically what it is. Dollars, anything that's a fiat currency is losing its buying power. Anything that's an asset is gaining quote unquote value. It's really, its value is staying the same, but fiat all around the world is going down. They're having to print more and more at a higher rate than ever. So basically, they could say more currency being printed than the last 27 years. That's really what's happening.
Yeah, we got inflation, you know, kind of explaining stock market. Gold, you got countries ditching the dollar, buying gold instead. So that kind of covers gold and
Well, I mean,
silver.
it's also the same thing. Gold's an asset. So when when the dollar has less buying power, the price of gold goes up. Same with silver, same with oil, same with utilities, same with, same with all of this stuff, basically. So
Also with oil, you have a lot of, I don't know how much energy production is oil or natural gas per se, but you're having more and more nuclear reactors turned on in China and overseas. So, could just be a little diminishment in that energy supply, and people may be looking forward here. Let's talk about BRICS. BRICS country control over 20% of the world's gold. Russia topping the list with 1 out of every 12 pounds of gold is in a Russian coffer, followed closely by China. Together, they make up about 3/4 of what the BRICS holds. The rest of it, India, Brazil, Egypt, South Africa, and the UAE, each account for less than 3% of global reserves, with India leading the group with 840 tons, mostly just that one guy with the teeth. Warren, that's a sad story.
But I mean, just to keep it in perspective, that's 20. Those are the numbers of 20% of the world's gold. The other 80%, obviously, we own a ton of it. And
we have a lot.
That's basically taking Russia and China, who own a significant amount of gold. They hold most of BRICS 20%, but obviously we still hold most of the rest of the 80%. So let's not get that.
Goliath asks, Deez, if we want to get info or into contacting you, how do we reach you? Well, just go to my X account here, DZ_BTC. I have DMs open, so you can always follow me there. And I'm getting closer and closer to 50,000.
Hey, nice.
If you guys want to help me out here, help me reach 50K, that'd be cooler. I wonder what 51 would feel like. Let's talk about Warren here. Elizabeth Warren under fire. Community back in Deaton in the election here for Senate. We have a video clip that I just wanted to play. We'll skip the article, get to the meat and potatoes here. Yes, this is here's a little preview, folks.
To go after them on overdraft fees, where folks like JP Morgan Chase were making more than $1 billion a year off people who were struggling making it day to day. I'm in those fights, but I think crypto ought to have to follow the same rules as everybody else.
Briefly,
I
because
wish
I'd like to
Senator
move on.
Warren would attack inflation the way she attacks
Oh, this
crypto.
this
I
an
wish she
older
would
one. We'll have to find out. We'll play a new one from last night. This is where he brings up, you know, the certain banker in the Bahamas, and she didn't ask any questions about that. There's some keywords that will trigger some YouTube censorship there, so we want to try to help fight that. Did we hit 380 yet?
337.
337. We'll
Flip
take
the
it there.
table, easy.
The moment has passed, man. The moment has passed.
So
Let's
they agreed to 3 different debates, right?
2, I believe.
2. And so they've done both of them now?
Yeah. We'll try to find a clip from the newest one there. Sometimes they're on like weird local news
this one's
stations.
not
It's not the best quality there. Looking at Bitcoin, 5-minute candles. Yeah, it is moving to the downside, man. We lost that little bit of support there. And it looks like making a pretty clear move
It's
down.
right at
Yeah, I was-
66.9, right?
Yeah, I
Isn't
was
that-
pulling up some immediate. Yeah, it's still at. It's like
that's the
jumping
number we were
between
talking about,
67K.
66.9.
And if we hit refresh, we're getting closer. Remember that next one, 66700. So we hit the one. Now we got to hit this other one too.
Yeah, it looks like that markets, because it just fallen to the S&P 500 right now, which is reacting off of the announcement, of course, from Bob Iger is getting replaced at Disney here by 2026. But the Magnificent Seven earnings reports, this guys, I don't know if we pulled this up in today's stream yet, but we are expecting earnings report this week, starting with Tesla on Wednesday. So that is where we're going to see some volatility probably moving into this. As the SPX and these markets speculate based on the earnings that will be released from the 7 companies that have propped up this entire economy. Now, that's something that you want to pay attention to because, again, people are like, oh, stock markets are at all-time high. It's like, well, NVIDIA is literally 11% of our GDP. So this isn't like, oh, the middle class and small businesses are doing great. No, there's 7 companies propping up this entire economy. And so if those come out worse than expected on Wednesday, it could start a cascade of a bit of a sell-off, but we'll get more information as we go out through the episode here. I'm going to pull up some analysis from economists.
All right, we got 2 candidates to replace Gensler by the Harris campaign. Now, let me just kind of give you a warning here, though. So they got 2 people that they're considering here, this guy, this lady right here. But now she hasn't committed to replacing Gensler publicly or privately, considering Brummer or Williams. As Chris Brummer is the chair of Public Company Accounting Oversight Board, and Erica Williams. Now, they're saying they could be more favorable, but we heard the same exact thing about Gary Gensler. We heard, oh, this guy was a former MIT blockchain professor. He has videos on YouTube where he's like shilling Algorand. This guy's going to be so pro crypto, you can't even believe it. And then he was the exact opposite of that. So when you're seeing these, signals that, hey, they could be more friendly to crypto, that maybe they're going to be friendly, do not believe it for 1 second. Let's wait for their actions.
I'm going to
wait
believe
for
it.
any kind of.
I'm going to believe it,
You know what, Gensler? He's just misunderstood, man. He's just misunderstood. The twin, he got all the cool. All right, let's talk about Trump working McDonald's. We got a 10, 15-second clip here. We're going to shift at Mickey D's for no reason other than to troll Kamala for lying. That's it. Say what you want. The man's objectively hilarious here. Here's the clip.
Mr. President, you actually have worked at McDonald's now versus...
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala.
Are you going to put this on your
I
resume?
never worked here.
Are you going to put it on your
Why would she
resume?
lie about something like that? Will it be put on your...
All right. I saw some people trying to dunk this like a
it's so
photo from the
sad.
parking lot
Yeah.
where it's like one car in the drive-thru. Like, this was a photo op. And I'm just thinking the guy was pew-pewed at twice or, 2 attempts. You think they're just going to let randos drive in the drive-thru?
It's
No!
obviously a photo op. That is
Yes.
obviously what this is.
Well, you're
but the
letting
point,
strange cars pull up next
it
to him.
wasn't the point either. People take a damn joke, dude. But also, no, the fact that a president went into McDonald's and cooked fries out of, it doesn't matter if it was a closed, location and propped up or whatever it was.
It's pretty awesome.
It was
Yeah.
pretty awesome. And I still believe the Secret Service allowed actual individuals to go through the drive-thru. They just had to vet them. And so, but was it propped up? Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm
Are
sure
you
they had
stupid?
mirrors underneath the cars. I'm sure they looked in the vehicles. I'm sure they patted the people down.
Yeah, and then
yeah, of
Democrats are
course.
like, dude, there's I'm watching all the liberal TikToks come out. They're like, how dare he do this, dude? If Kamala did that, they're like, one, she lied about working at McDonald's
Yeah, so she
completely,
can't
and
do
you guys
that,
are just
yeah.
okay with that?
Yeah.
Like McDonald's, they can't. They've guaranteed this. She has not worked there.
Hit a 1 in chat. I just
So
hit a
funny,
1
dude.
and I typed where. Hit a 1 in chat if you ever worked fast food. I worked Hardee's back in the day
Hardee's?
when it
Dairy
was
Queen.
the world's most popular breakfast place.
I didn't
was
work.
Dairy
The
Queen.
closest I got was McAllister's Deli, not quite fast food, but counter service.
That counts.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did he have a fryer?
No fries.
Would you like take home the mac and cheese or like the baked potatoes?
Did I take any?
Yeah, they let you walk home with the baked potatoes? Because what are they doing with them? Throwing them away?
No, you could. Yeah, I'm sure you could take some home. I wasn't a big baked potato people, but other people did.
Man,
yeah,
I'd be
I'll
hitting
just
my
make
block
a
like
baller sandwich.
I'd have a little jacket. It would just be full of spuds. I mean, I got them spuds. Which,
Well, you know
man,
the secret.
I'll make
right?
you sour cream.
You know,
Give me
it's
a
just
30
it's
seconds.
Just 2 potatoes smashed together. That's why they're so huge.
Yeah, I know. It's a little ridiculous. I fell for it, though. All right, let's talk about U.S. Attorney Generals and now asking Biden. He is the president here to act on the Binance executive's detention in Nigeria. This guy's been locked up for months. Seems like they're pretty close to like torturing this guy. I mean, they're not like hitting him in the bottom of the feet with the baseball bats or anything crazy, but he's
The
been
scene
having
from James Bond. They just keep hitting him between the chair, dude. Just right into the balls, dude.
no,
What's
man.
your seed phrase?
I got
what's
low.
your seed phrase?
I got them low floor draggers. You know what I mean? Those things that would really hurt. They're not that low. But yeah, they're saying he has declining health condition. He's been prevented access for malaria, pneumonia, and a herniated disc, resulting in motor deficit here. So yeah, this guy basically it seems like they're shaking him down. They're shaking him down for cash. They're trying to get a ransom from Binance, is what it appears like. So hopefully that guy gets free. Now we do have Stripe bought a stablecoin platform Bridge for over $1 billion. They're saying this is the biggest acquisition in crypto so far.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, as far as full acquisitions, I think it is because I think there's bigger deals, but it's not full blown acquisitions. This is like, just outright buying it. Stripe. I don't know what Stripe. Stripe is publicly traded, correct?
I mean, $1 billion acquisition just for a bridge. That is pretty.
Oh,
pretty
no,
big.
it is a privately held company, no stock price. So I was going to see if the stock is reacting on the news. So big news for Stripe right there and bridges in general. Federal than business, hard to say. Also work at McDonald's now. I don't think she's going to go to McDonald's. She did say she worked there. She was younger as recently as 2019. She started saying it then. Now, what is the next hot sector? Where are we going to get that bull run? Could be AI. Could be AI. Why? Because the VCs are still flocking to AI. $213 million was invested in Q3, and we have the amount. This is really what we want to know. Out of $10, how much is going to AI? Well, I think we have it somewhere in here. I think it's 1 out of $3. So looks like AI discussions reached a new high in October. Mindshare is now surpassing 50%, everybody. But when it comes to total amount of money there, it is taking about 1 out of $3 there. So we're getting a lot of money flowing into AI. Josh, I know you're a little up and down on AI. You got in early, you sold, great time to sell. Probably mostly because it was close to Bitcoin's all-time high in March more than anything, but still a great time to sell your AI tokens. Are you starting to feel the FOMO for AI?
Nope.
No.
Not yet. Still not yet. We need more confirmation on Sora. It's going to be Sora. I'm telling everybody right now. I've been saying it for the last. It's Sora. That is the next run. So if that comes public in 3 months, boom, you're going to have a great run up into probably the GTC Summit once again, like we did last year. If Sora gets postponed a year, I think it's just going to be this kind of. There's going to be narrative plays that, of course, do well in it, but the actual sector, I don't think it's going to really ramp up until that is released. Because once that's released, semiconductors and all the value that we saw, of course, with the Chat GPT explosion, I think it's going to come back times 3. So I think it's going to be a huge narrative once that releases. So I'm watching for
When
Sora.
is it scheduled to release right now? Do you know?
They say sometime 2025.
Okay,
So always 2
25.
weeks.
So it's always 2 weeks. Yeah, they were supposed to do. I think there was like beta testers, but they're all closed NDA'd, so you don't see a lot of the visualization still. But yeah, once that explodes, because I was actually talking to a multi-billion-dollar production studio out here in Atlanta, and they were explaining to me how like the future of their expansions. How are they going to do media in the future? And they're expecting with Sora and a lot of these AI advancements to lower at their cost basis for their workers by like 90% because of the advancements in that AI. It's going to, from everything from animation to video editing, color correction, everything you could think of will be able to be processed through this. So if billion-dollar corporations are looking at that, and they're already preemptively, pursuing that, you're looking at a huge run once that's released in, whatever the course is, 12 to 24
Yeah, we'll
months.
get a lot of excitement for sure. We got a lot of people working fast food. Bobcat, I don't know what you're doing there. Hopefully you're just a mascot there. KFC, we got Quiznos, Mickey D's, BK. Were you in the BK Lounge? Little Caesars, it does count. We will count it. Raising Cane's.
Let me show this because people are asking, what is Sora? Sora is the creating video from text feature from OpenAI. So you can actually see right here, you can't access this, but these are actual AI videos. So these look insanely legitimate. I mean, you could ask.
So you're saying when it's open to retail?
Yeah. So once it's
everybody
open,
can make a
not
video.
even just retail, like once it's publicly open to institutions as well. So like you're going to be seeing this. I mean, the CGI is better than Marvel, dude. So you're just going to be looking at every single corporation utilizing this, and the amount of storage capacity, rendering, like all those storages and services that you need for AI are going to explode because the cost basis for this, dude, it's going to be, this is why Tesla's buying. They just bought, like, I forgot how many GPUs or whatever it was from NVIDIA, and they set them up within like a week.
Yeah, 100,000, I think 19 days. Jensen said it normally takes 4 years. Actually, it was 1 year, then it got misreported as 4 years.
It was 4 years. They did it in like the matter
Yeah,
of
it's actually one, though.
weeks.
He got misquoted. I read the
Oh, so
quote
he
because
did
we
a
actually
year?
covered it on Friday's ATB. We pulled up the quote and it said 1 year, and we're like, where the heck does everybody get 4 years? But still, he did it in 19 days, but it takes people a year.
Look at this one.
Still nuts.
This is the worst website ever. OpenAI, like for a for-profit company, fix yourself. Jeez, dude. There you go.
It looks better than
Look
the
at this.
new Star Wars stuff.
I mean, it's insane. It's real, right? So you're just, it looks like PewDiePie, dude, with a beard. But you're just looking at a huge advancement in here, and the amount of rendering that's gonna explode AI. That will do it.
All right, give me one coin.
One coin on that render, of course.
Render.
once
You like render?
the-
TJ,
yes.
one coin.
I don't have a great one on that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these coins we say could have another leg, 50% down. I think Tau could be a good one as well. Here's the stat I was looking at. 1 out of every 3 VC dollars is going towards AI funding. So, we still might see a little bit of action. If you got a VC dollar flowing in today, you might see a pump 6 months later, 12 months later. So this could bode well for the upcoming bull run. We have ETH price outperforming Bitcoin in bullish breakout, signaling onset alt season 2. Soon. I don't want to listen to these people. I mean, yeah, we're looking at some Bitcoin stuff. We already looked at the parallel channel. We got midterm target. Let's go into the charts ourselves here, folks. And so I pointed this out. I don't even know how long ago. We have a bullish diversion in the ETH Bitcoin trading pair. The number you're seeing on the right is the percentage one Ethereum makes up of a Bitcoin. So right now we're firmly around 4% of a Bitcoin, got as high as around 14% of a Bitcoin at one point there. Even higher, 15%. And so right now we got a ways to go, but we're seeing some bullish div action. Have we seen it in the past? We have seen it in the past. Here you can see the weakness in the chart signaling that something is going to reverse, and that is going to be Bitcoin's price relative.
When is that?
Look at that pump.
What's the
This
date?
is September 19. So this is
September of 2019. So it made up ground all of 2020.
Yeah, and it, I mean, you could say it kind of peaked there, but really, really slowed down May 2021. That's when it peaked. I don't know if you recall, about 2 to 4 weeks after Bitcoin peaked in April.
That's basically the entire last bull run, all of 2020 before the halving, after the halving, to the peak.
650 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's interesting comparatively, where this one, Ethereum, has not, go back over to the right, hasn't been doing it this cycle because the halving, like it basically that would mean it should have been going for all or most of 2024.
Yeah. But this is weekly charts that we're looking at. So let's go ahead, look in on the daily. Are we starting to see more of a reversal? We are starting to see a little bit more of a reversal. When you zoom in a little bit and move it to the daily candles, one, not only do you see the RSI shooting to the upside here, that's spelling bullish action for the price. But here you can see a very strong floor right around this 3.8 level. I'm starting to see a little bit of strength. Now, I'm not saying we can't get another pullback or 5 pullbacks, but it looks like ETH has finally found a floor, and this is typically what you see before ETH just goes parabolic and goes
good. We need that. And that's the RSI you're looking at the bottom?
Yeah, on the bottom, we're looking at the relative strength index.
Yeah, there you go.
So, yeah, RSI. All right, why didn't ETH ETFs do better? We've talked about this in the past. We got the ETPs for ETH, not really doing much. One, it could be summer. Summer's a slow period. Bull markets draw focus. So, ETH really hasn't felt bullish yet. Right after Bitcoin ETP. So, the Bitcoin exchange traded products sucked in a lot of the money. But despite that, they're in the fastest growing of the year. Story for Ethereum is just getting started. I got another take, the DZ take here. People are not getting yield with their ETP. So if you get a BlackRock Ethereum share, you're not getting that yield. So you're probably just going to stake it yourself and get that yield. They're trying to make it where those BlackRock shares will give yield. Once that happens, off to the races. A lot of money is going to flow into it. If you're a rich institution, it's very risky buying a bunch of ETH, getting some nerdy programmer guy employee to then go and find a DeFi platform, go to Lido, they stake it, you're getting a yield. Just a lot of risk. You don't want to do that with hundreds of millions of dollars. But if you just buy some BlackRock shares, they take a little bit of a fee. A lot of money is going to pour into it.
Yeah,
It's going to be very, very bullish.
Agreed.
We have the DYDX community showing up. So,
yeah, that pumped like crazy over the weekend.
We traded that. That was insane.
Did you?
That was insane.
Yeah, a 40% pump in 24 hours.
Yeah, we longed that thing to the moon. It did I think a 90% gain for some people in the community.
Shoo.
That was a big play.
All right, now we got another big play for Solana. Eyeing the $200 breakout. Key numbers to watch here. And so it looks like the next major hurdle, $186.32. So 186. If we look at the price right now, what are we, about $13 away? No, $23. Oh wow, yeah, we pulled back.
Yeah.
Wow,
66.8. Adizia or Drew actually called this morning. He said 66.8 was his looking for his entry point. Some people still calling for the 66.2. This is why you want a stop loss on this. On Bitcoin, we still are in this position just a little bit here. I might dollar cost average a little bit into this. SPX though is what I'm following here. It's looking like it's trying to reverse here. We need that confirmation to break out to the upside here. I do think the SPX will end higher today. And if Bitcoin continues to fall, it's following the SPX perfectly. It is identical here. So what we want to see is really this reversal here on the minute and 5 minute. And of course, the hourly, what you guys want to see is close above this 200 moving average. If the hourly here closes below this 200 moving average, you're looking at more downside. However, the stochastic is completely, it's overextended here to the downside pretty massively. So is the RSI and MACD. So again, I'm still thinking these are entry points right here, guys. These are entry points, a dollar cost average into, and look to play the swing here when we're managing those risks. Now, again, you want to be paying attention to 5, the 10, the 15, as long as you're under, of course, the 20, the 50, the 100, the 200. We are in bearish momentum. But again, what I want to point out is the correlation to the stock market here, which is what it's 100% following here today. So if we can see a reversal here on the SPX, hopefully moving into the afternoon, you will look at that upside here. And we have an upside target on Bitcoin, $67,825. That is going to be where a key level of liquidations would occur. That is the swing I would play on that and then readdress and analyze the market after.
All right, you guys ready for some live back testing? Because this is looking oversold. And let's go back to look last time it was this oversold. So Bitcoin on the 24, I want to do 25. Maybe we'll do 24. 24-minute chart, you can see very, very low on the relative strength index. What was it like last time it got this low? We got to go away. We got to go all the way to this point right here. Last time RSI got that low. Well, let's look at the price. I don't know what happened. What happened when the RSI hit that low? Was that a bottom? No, it kept going lower. It kept going lower. So don't think just because the RSI is low, it can't continue to be beaten.
RSI is a momentum-based indicator.
Yes, strength.
Yes.
Measuring the strength. So, right now, not a lot of strength.
We are looking at a bit of a bullish divergence here, though, on the 5-minute on Bitcoin.
I saw that.
So, yeah, we got a little bit of, hopefully a little bit of bullishness. The stochastic can obviously, you can see, stay overextended. But we will see if that MACD can actually reverse here. It's honestly, and I truly mean this, guys, it's going to follow the SPX. So whatever the SPX does here, Bitcoin, you guys know this now. If you guys have been following this channel, we've actually used the SPX to trade Bitcoin. If you see that pumping, you usually see Bitcoin pump. The correlation is really high right now, especially as we anticipate the earnings from the Magnificent Seven this week.
Yeah, and that actually, you've been talking about that a lot in the Telegram chat. So if you guys aren't in that Telegram chat, I'll drop it in the link right now. But that strategy of following the S&P, because it's actually been front running it by like what, 15 minutes or something like that, a few minutes. The S&P's been moving a little bit before Bitcoin, right, Josh?
Wait, sorry, one more time.
The S&P's been ahead of it just by a few minutes.
Yeah, literally, it's like a minute. So if you, not even, maybe 30 seconds. So if you start seeing, if you get like bullish reversals on the SPX and you see a lot of bullish volume coming in that, it just shows that Bitcoin's more or less going to follow it. Now, Bitcoin, again, it's not 100% of the time, but it's 80 to 90% correlated.
Yeah, so you guys have been jumping in, like see it move, jump in those trades, make a quick money, jump out, and then just ping pong in and out. It's been working out well.
Yep, exactly.
All right. Well, speaking of working out well, it's going to work out very well for a lot of holders if Cardano passes Bitcoin.
Oh, God.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but Charles Hoskinson outlined a very bullish map
Well,
here.
you think Cardano's better than Bitcoin?
No.
Oh, well, that was
of
a
course
quick
not.
TikTok short. There you go.
All right. So during the presentation, he delivered from Argentina. He highlighted the journey from its inception to its current state and outlined a roadmap leading up to 2030. And he outlined his vision as it moves past the Voltaire era. Notably, the phases referred to as eras draw from, famous figures here. And he's saying it's focusing on several key areas post-Voltaire: scalability, interoperability, sustainability. And he is saying it could pass Bitcoin. In a number of decades, Cardano will flip Bitcoin, and the majority of governments in the world will run on our infrastructure. It's only 30 seconds. Let's listen to this crazy, crazy guy.
In 7 years' time since Cardano launched, we went from nothing to an 11-figure network with millions of people and the largest research group in the world and the passion of the young people. And in another decade's time, we'll be larger than Ethereum. And in another decade's time, we'll be larger than Bitcoin. And in another decade's time, the majority of governments in the world will run on our infrastructure.
Whoa.
Because they trust it. That is what thinking in decades gives you.
Oh, man. Thinking in decades giving me a whole
I
new
just took a loan
banana
out
zone.
against my house, and I went all in on Cardano. Sold all my crypto. I am all in on Cardano.
Yeah.
I am going to look at ADA BTC. We're going to look at some historical levels. We're going to look like weekly.
Before, I mean,
go
get something to build it, because I'm just going to give my honest emotional reaction to this. I'm not trying to FUD Cardano. Those type of conversations, talks, things, when I would hear that back in 2017, 2018, 2019, I was excited and I would get behind that. I would believe that. And I would think, yeah, that is a good mindset. That is a good, but then seeing what has changed in the last 8 or so years comparatively, it doesn't hit the same way anymore. Saying, yeah, wait another 30 years for Cardano to do what we say it's going to do, like that does start to feel more like just keeping everybody on the hook. Now, I'm not saying Cardano doesn't do good stuff. Like I think there is a lot of value in what they're doing in the decentralization. But to say you're going to pass Ethereum in a decade and then Bitcoin in the next decade, I don't see it.
No. Looking at the 3-day Cardano Bitcoin trading pair here, it does look like it's actually due for like historic reversal. This could mean it goes down a little bit further over the next, say, 2 weeks, maybe even 4 weeks. But I am predicting within the next 5 candles, so that's, a little bit more than a month here. I really think we got to reverse this thing. I really think we're probably going to be sitting closer to 700 sats.
So you're
saying
saying
530, we're going to be closer to 700 in November.
So you're saying give it at least a month before I dump the Cardano?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if we go the daily, I mean, is this a reversal? Well, we've certainly thought it there. We thought it there. We thought it there. We thought it there. This time is different, folks. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just, this is, I think, something that people are just realizing the cycle is a lot of these utility plays that, 2 cycles ago, you're like, yeah, this is going to change the world. You realize it, isn't really changing the world that much. But it's good to have a founder that's confident in his project. I do think Cardano can definitely, like you said, break out of that channel, see $1.20, see $2 a cycle pretty easily.
And to your point about changing the world, like I feel like a lot of us have been disenfranchised with the industry somewhat. I mean, it is changing the world. It is doing that. It is having a huge impact, but doesn't seem to be the focus as much today as it once was a few years ago. I mean, it is slowly but surely we're seeing it happen. Even Stripe acquiring a bridge for $1 billion. We're talking about tokenized treasuries. We're talking about nations holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet. It is absolutely changing the world. We are moving towards a more transparent, immutable, even fair, permissionless ledger, which is amazing. But it's also not nearly, it doesn't look anything like what I think a lot of us thought it would look like in 2018, 2019, 2020, 2017, so.
All right. A lot of people, just all over the place on their thoughts here. Now, someone's asking to check out Arrow. It is a favorite of the channel, and I have a big, big win. Arrow is now down 8%, normal pullback there. Still well above $1. The markets are in free fall right now, so there's just going to be a lot of profit taken on that. But still well below its all-time high. Now, Ape Chain, though.
Here we go.
Going nuts. It was up 40%. It was up 100%.
It's ape season.
At one point. Let's just go to the coin here because this thing is looking nuts when you look at the charts here. kind of in the green on this red day. Look at that pump. Look at that 7-day chart right there. Flat, right around 69 cents, 72 cents.
Talk about having a good weekend.
Woohoo, man. From 72 cents to $1.74. So more than $1 right there. What the hell is going on with this coin, though? Well, it looks like a layer 3 ape chain launch. And then what's really driving it, though, freaking meme coins. They're now that it's its own token, they have their own bridge. The ape meme coins have been going nuts. I think there's a coin called Curtis that has been going nuts. So memes, I saw a huge success. Curtis, Clear Leader, 24 million. Board, 12 million. Sif and Dookie, $4 to $5 million.
Duke itself.
All with entries below $1 million for those early to the chain. So you're looking at a 25x for Curtis. Ape Chain could be the biggest winner, though. It's more of just a sustained 2x right there. Folks, should I dive in? Should we try to find some ape memes? Is this the next meme? Because here's the thing. We saw, what memes? We saw the base memes kind of taken off, kind of talked about for a while, and it kind of stayed on the sideline. Then we saw the Swee memes take off.
Solana memes,
and the
obviously.
chatter. Yeah, the Solana memes. But the Swee memes just 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
We saw the Swee memes. We heard about it. We saw the chatter. It kind of pumped for like 10, 12 days. This is kind of day one. Should we jump in now for like 4-day roller coaster ride?
That could be the next rotation. I mean, you're already integrated into this ecosystem a little bit. You hold a little bit of ape, so
yeah. I have a mutant ape. You know, I've been bullish. You know, I'm obviously biased when it comes to this. So yeah, maybe I'll do a little video. Maybe I'll show you how to buy these meme coins because I've never used the L3 bridge for ape. I'll you know, maybe I'll go ahead and show you, what it looks like to actually stake an ape, claim those rewards, flip them into the L3. And then go blow it in the meme coin casino. Folks.
Let's talk about this. Obviously, it's Ape Coin, Ape Chain, Bored Ape, all that kind of stuff. Curtis, one of the first ones going off. We know animal-themed memes do extremely well. What animal? And I don't know if there already has been one. So
what's the one with the shiny ass? Baboon?
Oh.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, baboon. Yeah,
I can see a baboon meme.
You got, or I think it's going to be apes across the board because even Duke was receiving like actual value from this. It's up like 2x.
Chimp with frog.
Chimp with frog.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if you've seen that viral video.
What do you think is going to be the meme that is not the first non-monkey animal on this meme coin thing? Like, would it be a cat? Would it be a dog?
I like banana. Oh, non-monkey animal though.
Yeah.
What do monkeys get along with? I mean, I think it might be that frog. It's used as a tool.
Maybe like one of those.
Frog is good. You got Pepe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like that's the
frogs could be like a poison dart frog. What's in the jungle?
Cats and dogs obviously always do well. So it's like
cats and dogs.
Ape with cat. Like ape with dog.
Ape with cigarette.
Ape with cat.
I like that? Ape with cigarette.
Ape with cigarette.
You just like show those old chimp videos of them like smoking inside the Chinese zoo.
That'd be funny.
Shit's so crazy.
Yeah.
Give an ape cigarettes.
Is it unethical? All right, he is addicted, right? The previous zoo did it. Now he comes to your zoo. Do you keep giving him cigarettes? Is it unethical? Is it unethical to not give him his fix? What do you do,
I don't
Josh?
think I want to see an ape go through withdrawals.
You're Matt Damon. You got the zoo.
Dude, with like a chimpanzee going through withdrawals would be the scariest thing on the planet.
That would be pretty.
I think
scary.
that
would be
dangerous.
pretty bad.
It's actually probably life-threatening if they don't give that monkey cigarettes.
All right. Well, folks, that is our show for the day. I'm going to go look at some Deaton clips. I'm going to go maybe spin the roulette wheel of the ape casino. I think that might be funny. It looks like a lot of people are, all right. Ape with vape, ape with coin, ape to moon.
With vape, that's
all right.
good.
Monkey, fox, people love. All right. You know what, folks? I'll go work on that ape with Nana. That's actually a good one. I'm going to go work on that. Josh going to open
Banana
some trades.
Tokens, guys. Yeah, get in the Telegram, guys. I got some updates coming out for you here, guys. We're going to be DCAing into hopefully some longs here as well as some other plays. The markets are looking to hopefully find support at this range. SPX is bouncing. We'll see you in the Telegram with more updates. Go join. It's completely for free. It's pinned and in the description below.